Rise with India podcast on ET Now.
Good morning and thanks for listening in. I'm Alex Matthew and this is the daily morning update from ET Now. Today's the 23rd of June. We've got lots to cover, so let's get straight to it. The Indian Meteorological Department has said that the Southwest Monsoon Winds have stalled and are unlikely to make any progress till the end of June. This after making rapid progress in the first 3 weeks of the season. As of now, only Delhi, Haryana and parts of Rajasthan remain uncovered by the monsoon. In a sign that India's business activity and consumer sentiment is reviving sharply in June, nearly all payment modes from cash, cards and Unified Payments Interface or UPI have registered a sharp uptick in volumes in the first 3 weeks of the month compared with the same period in the previous month. Payments had understandably stalled during the worst of the second wave of the pandemic during April and May. The government is tweaking oil exploration contracts to make it more lucrative for companies. Oil companies can now exit an exploration contract without paying a penalty or request a reduction in committed work program if the government delays necessary clearances for more than 2 years, as per a new proposal by the Petroleum Ministry. The government is also trying to streamline the licensing process so that companies can focus on searching for oil and gas. And finally, the Oil Ministry has revised the model revenue sharing contract it signs with the companies for an exploration license. The Coal Ministry announced yesterday a revision in the timeline of the second tranche of auctions for coal mining. In a statement, the ministry said that the last date for registration of bidders and sale of tender documents on the MSTC website and the bid due date have been revised. The last date for submission of bids has been extended to the 8th of July. The National Company Law Tribunal has reserved its order in the petitions filed by Reliance retail entities to hold meetings of their shareholders and creditors to consider and approve the proposed merger with Future Group's retail, logistics and warehousing business in a 24,713 crore deal. So it looks like that deal is going to be put on the back burner for a bit. In international news, a string of nations across Asia and Africa have run out of COVID-19 vaccines or are on the brink of doing so months after receiving first shipments from a global program that is meant to equitably distribute the life-saving shots. A WHO advisor said that out of 80 lower-income countries across the globe that have received vaccines through the program, about 40 are either out of vaccines or on the verge of running out. In international markets, Bitcoin whipsawed investors by tumbling below $30,000 for the first time since January this year and erasing gains for the year before recouping the day's losses. The world's largest cryptocurrency closed out the New York trading session marginally higher at around $32,900 after falling as much as 12%. Overnight, the digital token fell slightly once again. It has lost more than 50% from its mid-April high of almost $65,000. The coin started 2021 trading at around $29,000 following a fourfold increase in 2020. Microsoft took its place in the history books as just the second US company that is publicly listed to reach a $2 trillion market value. Microsoft shares rose as much as 1.2% in New York trading on Tuesday, enough for the company to briefly join Apple as one of only 2 companies trading at that mammoth value. And with that, it's over to Rohit Singh for the trade setup for the day in India. Morning, Rohit. How are we looking today?
Good morning, Alex. Call it the expiry week swings or nervousness near higher levels. But Sensex wiped out day's entire gains to end flat. That after hitting the 53,000 level briefly. The morning head start soon petered out as Sensex sensed resistance at higher levels. Despite the slide, market breadth remains in favor of the bulls. The measure of volatility is also not shooting up unreasonably, even though monthly expiry is around the corner. A depreciating rupee which ended at 74.37 also weighed on sentiment. Foreign investors sold shares worth about 1,000 crore rupees. However, domestic institutional investors looked for bargains in the market slide, buying shares worth 300 crore rupees. Bitcoin dipped below the $30,000 mark for the first time since the start of the year but recovered later. US benchmarks built on Monday's gains. In fact, Nasdaq managed to close at record highs. Reassuring the street, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said it is highly unlikely that inflation will rise to levels seen in the 70s. But he admitted that the rise in prices have been larger than what was expected. Time for a quick roundup of the stocks making headlines. According to a news report in the Economic Times, Tata Motors is evaluating opportunities to raise capital for its EV business. Bharti Airtel chairman Sunil Mittal said it would be tragic if India is reduced to just a two-player market. Without naming, he was alluding to loss-making Voda Idea's struggle for survival. Hero Moto will be increasing prices of motorcycles and scooters by up to 3,000 rupees. Shares of PSU lenders Indian Overseas Bank and Central Bank are buzzing on reports of progress on divestment front. Speaking at the HUL AGM, Chairman Sanjeev Mehta sounded confident that the rural growth will be resilient. He said that the pandemic is just a pause in India's growth story. SEBI has exempted Heineken from open offer requirements after it hiked stake in United Breweries. An 800 crore rupee public issue of Pesticides India is opening today. The company has managed to gather 240 crore rupees from 12 anchor investors. To recap, it is possible that we may look to consolidate before attempting any serious up move. But the expiry swings could keep things volatile. Watch out for the unlock plays over the next few weeks. That's all from my end. Wish you a profitable day ahead. Thank you, and it's back to you, Alex.
Thanks, Rohit. And as always, thank you all for listening in. This is Alex Matthews signing off. Have a lovely day.
The Rise with India podcast on ET Now.